This is Andy Purwell for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by the source, Lawrence Okolie, the British and Commonwealth champion. Lawrence, out here in New York, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. Had a nice smooth flight in this morning, so I feel fresh.
You say feel fresh coming in just a few hours ago. What do you make of the flight over?
Yeah, it was smooth.
It's all right for some. Get much sleep or?
Yeah, a lot of sleep. I got a lot of sleep.
It's all right, you say a lot of sleep now. When Shane watches this, he'll be working you even harder in the gym.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Hard work's not a problem.
Obviously, we'll come on to the new, I don't know how to word it right, your new trainer, Shane McG, and the new setup that you've got yourself under now. But obviously, we are in New York ahead of your manager, Anthony Joshua's first fight here in the States. Going in with Andy Ruiz Jr., what are your thoughts on that bout?
Seeing him here today, I just think that with the height and reach, AJ's got athleticism, boxing IQ. I think he'll be able to land jabs, mix up the shots, head and body. Ruiz will be game, but start getting caught, busted up. Probably like over in 5.
What do you know of what AJ has been working on specifically for Ruiz on the back of having to change opponent, originally obviously being Jarrell Miller?
Oh, I don't know anything in terms of like a game plan or anything like that. It's just I know what I've seen of AJ. I've seen him training, and you just know what he's about. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to do anything you haven't seen before, like switch up or anything like that. But just going to keep it straight to basics, straight 1-2 hook. Yeah, he's going to deal with him.
Out of the potential opponents who were named that he could have faced, Luis Ortiz, Adam Kaunaki, Michael Hunter, do you think Andy Ruiz Jr. was the best of the available opponents?
I don't know who is actually available. I know that other than the fact that he's boxed for a world title or so on and so forth, he's deserving in the sense of like a short replacement opponent. He's one of the better ones you can look for. Do you know what I mean? I feel like AJ's in a position where he's under pressure to box. Oh, Wilder, box this, box that. Whereas the Wilders and the Furies aren't under pressure to box AJ. If that makes sense. So I think you just have to look at the landscape and what's really available. And Andy Ruiz was really available.
You've set it up perfectly to come on to now. You've just mentioned there's a lack of pressure on the others in comparison to AJ. Wilder Ortiz announced by Deontay Wilder on social media yesterday, I believe, or the day before. What did you make of that announcement?
I mean, like you can't say it's a rubbish fight or whatever. Like it's a good fight, but it's just interesting because everyone talks about, oh, we want to box AJ and this, that, and Ortiz turning down money to box AJ. And now you hear that he's fighting Wilder. She thinks to herself, did they already have that planned beforehand? Is that why they were messing AJ about? It just kind of leaves stuff up in the air. Like, I don't really know. Like I said, I'm just a boxer. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really know the ins and outs of it all. But I think obviously that means that there's no AJ fight this year, so I expect to next year. But then on the other side, the way he knocked out Brazil, Wilder knocks out Brazil. If AJ goes on and gets a spectacular knockout, it just keeps building the fight. So I can't be too mad. But, it is what it is.
Because of how quickly that fight was announced after Wilder's victory over Dominic Brazil, are you surprised that all that they didn't decide to return to the negotiating table just to see what was on offer from AJ and his team?
I mean, like, just common sense would say that they probably already had it set up from before the fight. Just go in there, make sure you beat Brazil, and then you're boxing Ortiz. They probably got a plan in place. You don't just have a fight and then say Ortiz next. He stopped Ortiz. It wasn't like it was unconcluded, like a close fight. It was a good fight. Don't get me wrong, good fight. Ortiz had his moments, but he stopped him. So it's not like it needed a rematch immediately. Ortiz is still a great fighter. I wouldn't like to fight him. So that it's, it's big business.
You say there about the fight, and it was a concussive knockout, I should say. When the fight was announced, Deontay Wilder said that he wanted to make up for the controversial fights in his career. By that I think he means the victories which could have gone either way, or maybe fans weren't too keen on, in the sense that unless he did get a knockout, people might have scored it a lot closer if it had gone to points. Obviously it was a late stoppage. Does that make you think that it's just a bit of a mask over him deciding to fight Luis Ortiz, and he's trying to just cover it up? Or?
Of course, I mean it's clear to anyone, like it wasn't no one has gone back after he knocked him out. There's video footage of Ortiz knocked out. It's not like everyone was like, Ortiz was meant to win that fight and he was robbed. It's like you won by stoppage. Even if you lost 11 rounds and stopped him in the 12th, you won by stoppage. That's the bottom line. But then it was a good fight. I'm not saying it's a rubbish fight. I'm just saying it's just. We would like to at least hear a bit more negotiation. Hopefully the fight could have been made. You never know what happened, but ultimately, like in terms of them, I think they've all got a plan. it's all going to work out in the end.
Now, obviously, with that announcement, Tyson Fury seems to have his career set over here for the next 2 or 3 fights. He kind of leaves AJ in the lurch, in a sense. Everybody wants to see him fighting the big names. The only other biggest name in the division who he could have fight with would be the rematch with DILLIAN WHYTE. What are your thoughts on that one, and who else do you think he could fight which would maybe not receive as negative a reaction from the British public or across the world now?
Probably Pulev would be another one, because they were meant to fight, and then obviously for whatever reason, an injury or something like that.
Yeah, it was the whole kissing incident.
Kiss it, blood, whatever. So Pulev would be a good one as long as he's allowed to box. Yeah. Dave Allen perhaps, you know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, that's it. And obviously Dillian White's a good fight. He's gone on to show grit, determination, good boxing IQ, so he's going to improve himself, so that's another good fight.
Do you feel sorry for DILLIAN WHYTE at all? Obviously, for over 500 days as #1 with the WBC, and yet he hasn't found himself granted a shot at Deontay Wilder's world title.
This is what it is, isn't it?
What do you make of Tyson Fury's recent comments saying that he doesn't want to fight DILLIAN WHYTE now for a mandatory position for that chance to fight Deontay Wilder?
I'm not sure. I think that, like I said, with all of these guys, it just seems like everyone has their own plan and their own journey. They don't really need each other desperately right now, so they're just allowed to do what they want. I mean, that would be a fantastic fight, Tyson Fury versus DILLIAN WHYTE. I think it would be a good fight because you'd expect Tyson Fury to be able to outbox him, but then DILLIAN WHYTE has got good fundamentals, good catch counter shots, and enough power in the left hook to hurt anyone. So that would have been a good fight. But in terms of it's true he doesn't actually need to fight DILLIAN WHYTE because he's got enough of profile that he could just come in as a voluntary defence against Wilder again. Do you get where I'm coming from? Or whatever. So he doesn't really need it. I would like to see that fight, but do you know what I mean? It's just everyone's got their own plan.
There's obviously going to be a lot of fan pressure on wanting to see those fights. I know you yourself want to see them as much as what I do. Even if you link it to your own circumstance, British Commonwealth champion in such quick fashion, everybody wants to see you excel towards world honours because of the pressure that's being built around boxers who achieve a lot in such a short amount of time. How do you deal with that pressure, and how do you think they deal with that pressure of trying to make sure the fans don't maybe react negatively towards certain fights being made?
I think it's different for obviously them because they're making multi-millions of pounds, so do you know what I mean, and they have a lot more of a fan base, so it's a lot more pressure from broadcast. I don't sit down with Sky or DOESN, I sit down with our management, Eddie Hearn, so the pressure's not as much as on them. But for myself, I just always focus on actual boxing. I don't really care about all of the other stuff, you know what I mean? If fans love me, if fans hate me, if they want me to fight X, they want me to fight Y, I want to push myself. I'm not British and Commonwealth champion, whatever, because the fans told me I have to be. It's because I wanted to be. So I enjoy that kind of pressure that I put on myself. In terms of them, it's difficult because it's life-changing money, it's your legacy, it's so many different things. So hopefully I can keep the same mindset I have now if I can continue to keep winning and get to world level. But it could be different when there's tens of millions on the line, hundreds of millions on the line.
Now we can talk about yourself a bit more in detail now. Start off with your new trainer, Shane McG. Talk about the decision to link up and how it's been going.
Yeah, it's been going good. I looked at trainers in the UK and who I personally thought I would get along with as well as respect. There's obviously trainers you can see are good trainers, but at the same time, you know, the style that I have is quite unorthodox. Sometimes it's not pretty to look at, sometimes it's amazing to look at, and I just wanted someone who kind of understands what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, you know, I heard an interview of his where he spoke about me. I've never done a session before, but he said stuff that I know of myself, and the fact that he kind of got it and connects with it and what he believes I could do without training with him kind of gave me confidence in what he sees in me, because it's important to not just have a trainer who's good, you need a trainer who's good who can see what they can do with you and wants to work with you. So that was one. And secondly, I've seen what he's done with Josh Taylor, George Groves, the list goes on. So he's taken different types of, Luke Campbell, he's taken different types of fighters and made them good in their own right. And one that I looked at as well was Crispin and Smith. I sparred him on the GB team, and I thought he wasn't all that. Then I went to spar him again and saw that he was a completely different fighter. So I was like, oh, this guy's all right. And obviously that's work that obviously he's done himself, but then Shane also, so it's good.
What have you specifically been working on with Shane?
It's more like composure, working off the jab a lot more. realising that you can do damage with, if I can hit hard with my right hand, I can hit hard with my left hand, and just various different stuff, like, because I'm a very like responsive, like, and like, I don't want to say erratic, but very like push, pull, like just a very like just work orientated fighter, and it's good because it tires people out, but at the same time it's about working and then understanding why I'm doing stuff, and setting up the big shots and so on and so forth. So Jack Massey is in my next fight. That's a good one because he's a very good, solid GB boxer. Do you know what I mean? Double jab, right hand, works hard. It's in Manchester, in his hometown, so he's going to be very motivated. I know he's been training hard already, so it's good. It's going to be a good, solid test, and we'll see.
How long do you think it will be until we see you moving on to those European titles, etc.?
Well, it depends. Obviously, we'll see it on after July 6th. What happens? If I can stop Massey, then we'll push on another level. I might defend because then it'll be two defenses. I might defend it one more time, win it outright, and then go on. Or if opportunity pops up, opportunity pops up. But most importantly, I know Jack is like. He's won ABAs before. I know he's a good fighter, long story short, but unfortunately he's just not good enough to be a good fighter, but we'll see.
Whenever people talk about you, they always say you're obviously big for the weight. How have you found trying to keep the weight down and staying at cruiserweight? Do you think you've got plans and your eyes set on a heavyweight move anytime soon? Yeah,
definitely. I feel like I make the weight very comfortably when I'm on it and I'm training, but if I take time off and I'm lazy, then the weight starts piling on. Once I'm on it, making weight's like not an issue. It's like the last thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do indeed. I thought I was trying to lead you in there to what you said before the interview, the bone density.
That's natural though, I can't do nothing about that, but obviously my bone density is off the charts, so I mean that's that. So obviously I've got that, you know, when you check your body fats or this, that, another, my bone density, I think that's probably one of the reasons why I hit hard, because they said it's like being hit, instead of being hit with a wooden bat, it's like being hit with a metal bat, so it's good, you know what I mean? Like, that's because I always wonder to myself why I hit, because it's not like, if you watch me fight, it's not like I have the most amazing technique when I'm throwing shots. Like I can see that, everyone can see that, but for some reason if I hit someone clean, there's a response. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on as well, Chris Billam-Smith versus Richard Riakporhe, a great fight.
Right.
What have you made, obviously, training with Chris Billam-Smith, and how do you see that one planning out?
I think it's a good fight in the sense that Riakporhe is coming off of 2 good wins. His confidence should be very high at the moment. You know, he's got wins over people who he probably going into fights probably thought he shouldn't beat, but he's gone on and done it. So he's good. He's like similar height range to myself, so he's tall, athletic, and that poses problems for anyone that's shorter than you. Do you know what I mean? So Chris is obviously shorter than Riakporhe, but then he's also very good technically. So he's very good on the inside, very good at I don't want to say too much, but he's very good. Long story short. So long story short, they both have really good, like, contrasting styles that are very dangerous for each other. So it's about who can sort of implement it more. Like, obviously, I'm a fan of power, which is obviously what Riakporhe's got. But at the same time, actually training with Chris kind of allows me to know that power sometimes isn't everything. So it'll be good. It's a good fight still.
Now, I've also seen Alexander Usyk out and about. Any chance that you might have a word with him, try and set one up down the line? I know it's something that you've mentioned previously in interviews.
Yeah, not immediately. Do you know what I mean? If I see him, I say hi to him, maybe get a picture. How's things? How did you become cruiserweight undisputed? But as of right now, you know what I mean, I need to actually do more. So I'm going to beat Jack Massey, beat the next guy, and then start pushing on.
Well, Lawrence Okolie, I've kept you for long enough. As always, thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you.